That's right. Kids in the '90s were not there was never trans kids in the ni I don't even think there was trans kids 10 years ago. So something weird to me is going on. Why this is the question I always ask you all, and it's something that I truly believe, okay? And as a transsexual, I truly believe. I don't want somebody to be in this space unless they just can't get out of it. They just can't, and they're just spinning out, and hormones help them, surgery helps them, moving forward, living as the opposite sex helps them. That's what transitioning is all about. But the first and foremost number one thing that needs to be attached to this trans space is we need to help these kids get out of the dysphoria. As far as I'm concerned, we are helping the kids get into dysphoria. That's how I actually see it as an older and an elder in this community. That's right, kids in
Okay, that was so. I'm sorry, Buck. You totally lost everyone. Everyone. You lost everyone there. Um. Okay, you want to know why there was? What do you mean there was no trans children in the '90s? You want to know why? Well, first of all, there probably were, but they didn't disclose that information. That's what happens throughout history. Most trans people live as the opposite sex, but never tell anyone that they were born their biological birth sex. They never do that, and usually, as a child, they're forced to like if you were to in the 90s, even the 90s, go up and say wanting to be telling your parents this yearning to be the opposite sex, oh my god, they send you conversion therapy. It was so insane back then. Do you know why there's so many trans people back in the days who just completely didn't disclose their birth sex, lived as the opposite sex most of their entire life. Like Edward D. Lacey, he was a trans man in the 1800s. He was born female. Nobody, but then he transitioned and completely changed. Because he wasn't happy. He decided to live. He married 3 wives. He was known as a gentleman. And guess what happened? When he fell ill from dementia when he was older, when he went to an old folks' home, guess what? They found out his birth sex, and guess what they did with him? They forced him to wear dresses. They forced him in as a woman. They did. It was so embarrassing. It must have been so humiliating, and I feel for him because he lived he lived most of his life as a man. So to say like, oh, it's impossible for a trans child. Okay, so you're saying, to your logic then, someone who's 17 can't be trans. Like, you can't even comprehend that could be a possibility of the case. But someone who's 18 can be trans. Like, where is this? You don't think if you had the options when you were a child, you would be trans? Because I'm sorry, man. I mean, some people don't come out till later, but you probably would be. You probably would have come out earlier if it weren't for like this real, like, it is discrimination, but that's just how we have to live with society. It's just being trans is really, really rare. And when people say they're trans who are suffering from gender dysphoria, like me, or just don't want anything to do with their birth gender ever, want to be the opposite sex, and just want to like, why are you refusing that care? Like, what's wrong with you? Have gone bananas? Okay, I just can't. If you obviously are not educated. I used to follow you a lot, and now this is why I don't anymore. Bye bye.